Good afternoon and welcome to the Bipartisan Policy Center. I'm Blaise Misztal, the director of our National Security Program. Earlier this afternoon, President Trump made a major announcement saying that the United States was going to pull out of the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, the big technical name for the Iran nuclear deal. There's five main takeaways, I think, from this announcement. The first is that he was responding to what have been long-standing and bipartisan criticisms of this deal, the most important of which is what's known as the sunset clauses, the idea that while the United States is obligated in perpetuity not to sanction Iran under this deal, Iran actually gets to get its nuclear program back. By 2030, it's allowed to enrich however much uranium it wants to whatever level it wants, using however many centrifuges it wants, putting it just days away from a nuclear weapons capability. The second point is that a lot of the reasons that President Trump gave also had not a lot to do with the nuclear deal. He cited things such as Iran's development of ballistic missiles or its malign behavior and influence in the Middle East. Those are things that are not covered by the deal and could have been dealt with separately. The third point is that it was actually a very interesting argument that he put together, trying to argue that actually the deal is at the center of everything that is wrong with Iran in a lot of ways. And so the way he was connecting the nuclear issues like the sunset clause with things like Iran's regional behavior, saying that all of this comes out of this deal that was negotiated because it gave Iran a lot of leeway, because it gave Iran a lot of financial inflows, and because it emboldened Iran. We've seen a lot of negative reactions and a lot of negative consequences of the deal, consequences that he warned would continue. He cited things like the potential for a nuclear arms race in the region if the deal were left in place. The fourth and interesting part here is that by making an argument like that, and also by making the case that sanctions aren't going to go into place immediately, that there's going to be a period between now, when he announced the U.S. pulling out of the deal, and when sanctions go into effect, he's still leaving in place the possibility for further negotiations with U.S. European partners and the possibility of a new deal or a strengthened version of the deal to address his concerns. Finally, just as a matter of reaction, I think it's important to note that French President Emmanuel Macron has already tweeted that he's going to continue working with the United States to address this broad range of issues, whether it's the nuclear program or Iran's influence in Syria, Yemen, and Iraq. And so this negative reaction so far hasn't manifested itself among U.S. partners, and I think will hinge on whether President Trump continues to have this sort of positive, constructive attitude that yes, the U.S. is pulling out, yes, it's going to reimpose sanctions, but there's still room to work on this broader set of issues. With that, thanks for watching and stay tuned to bipartisanpolicy.org.